in. And this is the panel discussion. And anyone, I'm going to simply ask you a question. Oops, I'm going to ask you a question. Anybody can sort of jump in, and we want to hear from all the speakers. So, number one, why did you become a writer? Who wants to take that one?
I felt it was time to get out and be part of the crusade, the health crusade, and speak and have a bigger platform. It was scary because I said I was going to do it, and it took me a while to step into it. But that was the one that really led into me getting something in a book.
Okay, anyone else?
I kind of did it for credibility, because it's good to show that you have a book.
Okay, and Susie?
Yeah, I was going to just say credibility for sure. And it's like having a really super business card if you've got your own book to take around and give to the relevant people that you really do want to do business with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just felt that I wanted to share what I was so passionate about, and I couldn't find another way. It finally got to me so that I had to do it, but just had to do it.
Had to do it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, just to sort of piggyback off of that really quickly, Susie, you went, I mentioned earlier, you went sort of the traditional route. You decided to get a literary agent and a publisher.
Not so much a literary agent.
Okay, so you went directly to the publisher.
I went, yes, but Vicky she's an amazing woman. She's been doing this for about 30 plus years.
Yeah, we don't know who Vicky is.
Vicky Winterton.
Okay.
Vicky Winterton runs Expert Tissue. Who's troublesome now, excuse me?
Oops, lost my earpiece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smacking your wrist and moving on. Vicky Winterton owns Expert Insights Publishing. So she's a kind of halfway house, I guess, in as much as she has her own publishing business. And you can go to her with your ideas for a book, but she will only publish you if she thinks that she can make you a best-selling author. And if you see, and if she doesn't think she can make you a best-selling author, well, she won't take you. But if she takes you and you don't become a best-selling author, then you get your money back.
Brilliant.
So it's a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
So I'm curious, what kind of work is she looking for?
Any kind. I mean, she's got a very varied. Lots of her authors in the sort of world that we are in on this call, contributing and health and what would be the genre that it would cover all of this? Well-being.
Health and wellness. Mm-hmm.
Yes, well-being, I was thinking.
Okay.
So, but she also will print fiction books and, well, any topic that she thinks that she can get sold.
Okay, and then it looks like Tanya asked a question. Tanya, why don't you, just since you're unmuted, why don't you ask your question?
Thanks, Tony. I was just wondering, which bestseller lists does she promise you can get on or you get your money back?
Amazon.
Oh,
don't say it like that, honey.
Sorry.
Wow, okay.
So now I know that it's only going to be New York Times bestseller or nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
It is. It kind of is. I get asked this question a lot. In fact, at Women of Influence, I got asked this question.
Yeah.
I mean, a bestseller is a bestseller, but yeah, Amazon bestseller lists aren't what they used to be. And as we all know, they're very easily manipulated depending on the category.
I've watched it, and it is like a recipe for making a cake. You do the necessary steps, and lo and behold, you get out the other end your best-selling book.
Yeah, absolutely.
So but it's still nice to have that bestseller.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And it's more than I could have achieved on my own.
Oh, it's brilliant. And it's another standout from all the other books that are on there. So you're always looking for that point of difference.
Exactly.
And whether it's easy to get the Amazon bestseller or not, not everybody has it, therefore it's still a point of difference. Not everybody knows that it's easy. You know, probably those of us that work in that publishing area know,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
not necessarily other people. So congrats, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'd love to hook up with you afterwards, Tonya.
Oh, it sounds
Tanya.
great, Susie. Yeah.
All right. So my next question, unless anybody else wants to answer that first question, why did you become a writer?
I typed something in for brevity. For me, I've been writing my whole life, and for me, I believe that everyday people have amazing stories that need to be told and shared. And I actually originally got into journalism 23 years ago as a seeker of truth. My father was in the British SAS, which is like
Wow.
yeah. So I grew up in the Middle East. And my dad was a badass, and I didn't go into the military like him, but I decided that I was also going to chase bad guys, but I did it with my pen, and I sent pedophile priests to jail and corrupt politicians and caused inquiries and done all kinds of really cool stuff. But for me, it's all about, it's stories that are passed from generation to generation. Every religion has stories that are passed from generation to generation. And we all have such valuable stories that need to be shared and told. And when you write that down, when you chronicle that, you've now left behind a legacy as well. So that's why I write. I just wanted to share.
Wonderful. Now, next question.
Moving on.
And once again, jump in, anyone. What was the one thing you learned, good or bad, from publishing your first book or your first piece?
My first book was called The Fit Solution, and there are questions about the publishing process itself.
Yeah, anything good or bad. What did you learn? By the end of it, you said, "Oh my God, this is what I get."
Well, especially being the first book, I felt very raw and vulnerable, and I understand why it'll stop some people. But I realized that it was a pretty easy process once you step into it. And that was something that was a big aha for me. And Tanya, you were talking about just how important it is for legacy. You're right. A lot of us are talking stories or writing stories, and we really don't realize how other people need to hear those things to sometimes heal themselves or feel leveled up or inspired, connection, whatever that is for them. And that became my platform for my book.
Absolutely. I'm just going to jump in here because the first book, and I sort of mentioned this or alluded to this earlier, my first book was Telemarketing Success for small and mid-sized businesses. And every literary agent and publisher turned it down. But here's what I got out of it. I learned how to have more confidence, which was, up in that point, the only thing I'd ever wanted to do or be was a writer. And so to publish and to walk away and say, and I self-published, to walk away and say, you know what, I got this published was important. But what was really important was when I started doing workshops and people would come to the workshops and then they would buy the book afterwards, and then I would get big consulting gigs after that. So I sort of walked away with a sense of, oh my God, I thought I knew nothing, and clearly I knew what I was talking about, and people were willing to pay me for that knowledge. So I learned how to have more confidence in myself, in my own abilities, who I was, what I had to share, what I had to teach. So that was a big one. Anyone else?
I shared a little bit before, but I was absolutely astonished at what little publicity a major publisher do. But the two of us who did the book were both journalists, and I would have, up until that point, I would have always thought getting a book deal was much better for you. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have the advance and you can do the research and you get a bit of money, and that's lovely. But in terms of the hype and the publicity around the book, and I was just shocked. I was stunned. I had the great visions of doing a Carrie Bradshaw book tour, Sex in the City, Packed, all that kind of thing.
Terrific.
It just didn't happen because they're very limited with what they do for you. And literally in that moment, and I'm going back 12 years, I just went, well, where's the benefit other than that bit of cash advance? Lucky we know how to do media and publicity ourselves. So that was a huge surprise for me. Yeah, I naively thought that it would be like a magic wand.
Yeah, absolutely. Inez, I think you wanted to say something. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Anyone else before we move on? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. So what's the biggest misconception about writing and publishing, do you think?
That it's easy.
I don't think it's a ta-da kind of a thing. Like sometimes when I first started, I was invited to go to LA and sit on a couch, and I thought, okay, this is it. I made it big. And there'd be like these beginner steps, and I would be like, oh, it's going to be all over there. And I thought that this book is published. Now I'm going to be a star. And the star to me meant that more people are going to read it, more people are going to buy it, they wanted to consume it. It's it's an important discussion to have with somebody that's coming out as a new author, is that it truthfully is a process. It's not something that it's a one-shot deal. It's a consistent, like a sales funnel. It's a book funnel that it can take you so massively far, but you can't believe that one person is going to get you somewhere, which Tanya, you were talking about too. I guess that lines up, that you think you get this book deal, same kind of thing. You think, okay, now we're going to have all this happen.
Yeah, totally. And I think, what I find a lot, because I work a lot with a lot of authors, is one of the biggest misconceptions is I've got a book and now everyone will buy it. What they don't realize is that you've got to work really hard to promote that book. Yeah. And that's across a multitude of platforms. And speaking live events is a huge one. Media and publicity is another huge one. But people just think it would be wonderful if when we wake up in the morning, there's a whole heap of people on the front lawn waiting to buy a book. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time.
Absolutely.
Too much noise out there. Too much noise.
Well, and, people think that it's going to be like the Harry Potter deal where they're suddenly going to wake up, they're going to be a billionaire, and, everybody's going to run out.
It's not like that.
It's not like that.
Look how often she was turned down, though. I mean, many, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of us would have been so disconcerted by it. We would have walked away with our tail down.
Same with Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I can't remember the number of times that he was turned down for what is now, of course, cult.
Hi, Daryl. Welcome back.
Cult writing.
Daryl, will you unmute yourself, please? We're doing the.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Sorry, guys. I had to hop off and hop back on.
That's okay. We're doing the panel discussion. So thanks for joining us. No, what I was saying is, you think, I'm going to publish this book and people are going to buy it. I'm going to be rich. All my problems will be over, and I never have to work again. And it just doesn't work that way. And as I said during my talk, the real work begins after the book is published, because then you got to promote it. So there you have it. Okay, so moving. Go ahead.
You're stealing my lines. That's what I was going to comment on. I think that really is when the hard work starts, and I'm only just at the beginning of that point now. But also, I think people think when they've finished writing their book that they've done it. And I don't mean moving on to the next step like the sales marketing side of it. I mean the editing. The editing is the most painful part.
Yep.
You just go really deep into the back cave and you come up for air if you possibly can. That took me longer than writing the book.
Absolutely.
Is that an unusual experience, or is that what most of the others found?
No, editing takes me forever. And you know what I do is, I say I usually go to a neighborhood pub to get the writing done. Oddly enough, whenever I'm ready to start editing and just making whatever changes I want to make to it, I go up to Sonoma County. There's a location called Russian River, It's in the wine country. And I will go up there for maybe a week. And I'll just sit there. And there's one resort that I'm not going to mention it now because otherwise everybody will be up there. But I will usually go up there and I'll stay for a week, sometimes 2 weeks, and I'll just have a couple of cocktails. I'll get dinner. You know, I'll sit at the bar because it's a resort, so you can actually sit there and read and drink and, you know, that sort of thing. And I'll just sit there and I'll edit and edit and edit and edit and edit until I'm done, you know. And I know when I'm done when I'm really sick of looking at the book.
I got sick of it before I got that.
That's how I know I'm done. It's like, all right, no more.
But I'm not talking about getting the professional editor in. This is before the professional comes in on the scene.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to. I think you should do some self-editing. I think
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Some people like to just edit themselves, and some people like to go to a professional and have them do it. And oftentimes, when you and this is the reason why you have to be really careful with who you hire. Oftentimes, it will be nothing like what you envision. Your message is not, you know, what you want it to be, because now somebody else's fingerprints are on it, and you've got to be happy with it, you know. And that's the painful thing. If somebody's edited it to death, and then you're looking at it and like, this is nothing remotely like what I was hoping to, you know, convey.
Tony, that is so interesting because you've hit the nail. I'd forgotten. I sent my original manuscript off to be edited, and it came back. And it was at that moment that I had to start doing it myself again to get their fingerprints off it, to take on board what their suggestions were, but to still have it as my voice.
Yep. And it's,
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to add to that because something I've learned that's massively important, because we have somebody from Sweden. My podcast partner's from Sweden. She just released a book this year. That English is her second language. So when she's writing, she, you know, she's not going to write a proper book, and so she had it edited.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't release it because there were adjustments that happened, but grammatically and the way that it read was horrific. So she had to learn the different stages of what type of editor you're looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what you have to sort of know, I think, what you want the book to, is the overall message there. Grammar and punctuation, that's one thing. But is the overall message there? The overall message has suddenly become something entirely different, then it's no longer your message, it's the editor's message. And that's what you have to be really, really careful about. So, you know, there you have it. Anyone else want to chime in before we move on? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. So this is for each of the speakers. And I want you to go one at a time. We're going to start with Daryl. What do you want people to know about working with you? And tell us the name of your book or any upcoming projects that you've got.
Cool. Are you starting with me? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay. Well, my book is called My Upward Spiral, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. So a friend of mine named Mythica Von Griffin, she's a world famous body painter. She was on the TV show Skin Wars, and she'd been through all of these book writing seminars and all this kind of stuff. And she was telling me how, you know, you have to title the book like, you know, the 10 things that you must overcome or 10 obstacles you must do this or that. So I was trying to write it like that and take my story, because it's really autobiographical, and kind of fit it into that, and I just vomiting over it. And finally, I just changed the whole thing. I scrapped it, and I just put stories from my life that will move yours forward. That's it. And I just rewrote it as, you know, as just stories. And, you know, they all have a moral at the end. But that really freed me up. I would say that in terms of working with me, I love to work with people that really love to collaborate. We have to work together to achieve this kind of goal. And everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. Like, I can't balance a checkbook or look at numbers or add or subtract to save my life. So I have people working with me that handle all that kind of stuff. A lot of times, we don't quite understand like how to see ourselves outside of our own bubble and market ourselves. So that's where I come in, and I love to work with people that love to collaborate, that are really interested in digital marketing for the long haul. On the other part that I would say is a lot of people with publishing books, literally it's to say you are a published author, God forbid to say author of 9 or 10 books. Whatever else you're doing in your life, whatever you can, the amount of money you can command for anything else just went through the roof. So God bless all you guys for doing this and for setting an example and teaching this and all this kind of stuff, because more people need to do this. More people need to get their book out of them and organize and all that kind of stuff, because it opens up doors, that wouldn't be there if it wasn't for, becoming a published author, which is like
absolutely
a thing.
And so before we move on, tell everyone how they can reach you.
Well, you can reach me all over on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I'm mostly on Facebook 24/7, going live and teaching teaching all these different kinds of things. My marketing academy is at sternmarketingacademy.com. You can reach me there, or at sternstorming.com, or Sternstorming is everywhere. And if you put the hashtag #GetStern into Google, you can see me crisscrossing all over social media, and you can reach out to me any way you like.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go next. Here's what you need to know about working with me. I work with speakers mostly who also happen to be authors. And so if you're looking to get on more stages, if you have a book to promote, I do a lot of virtual events like these, and I do the on-site events as well. So if you are interested in getting in front of a global audience, you can email me. That's usually the easiest way, awil267-487@aol.com. And Tony Wilkins, connect with me on LinkedIn and Facebook. Send me an instant message, and be prepared to answer 2 questions. What do you need, and how can I help? So there you have it. Susie, you're up.
Oh, wow. Yes, my clients, if they're going to work with me, they need a sense of humor, because I really love having fun with people I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean to say I forfeit professionalism. I believe I'm very professional, and I deliver what I'm promising. I like to work with people who are ready to move from success to significance. And that really sums up my view on my legacy work. And I love the concept of getting more people to contribute. And I don't mean by writing a check. There's more to contributing than just being a billionaire that can easily write $1 million check. And in some ways, the person who can only give £1 or $1, the ratio is the same as the millionaire writing the $1 million check. The billionaire you know what I'm getting at.
I know what you're getting.
So I want more people to understand that it isn't about just giving money. It's about seeing how you can contribute to your family, leading by example, and making everybody feel happy and contented, and showing them how to do that, but also to make a difference in your community, perhaps in your state, in your county, in your country, and maybe on a global level.
Okay, so just to clarify, because you're an author, you also have another title. So tell everyone what it is that you do and who it is that you want to work with.
I want to work with I founded my company, ASA Coaching Associates, back in 2004. And it started out with just coaching, and then it moved into mentoring. And the reason I moved from coaching to mentoring was because I saw the American coaches were making much more having much more success with their clients by just slightly turning, skewing the view, the vision that they were sharing, and by offering their own experience. And my gift that I'm hoping you're going to share with everybody is your story, your brand. And I can't tell you the URL of it because I've lost everything. I'm just looking at a black screen here. But
Okay, so before you go on,
yes,
you said coaching. What kind of coaching? I want you to be specific, because when I post this, I want people to say, "Oh, I want to
she's
work."
my gal.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's what I'm.
Okay. Well, I do business and lifestyle coaching, and the two may not seem as though they're the same, but so many people that are so busy working in their business, they don't have time to ensure they've got the work-life balance right. So by teaching, coaching business and lifestyle, I'm hoping that I can get them to find a balance.
Okay.
And the legacy mindset comes in as my favorite.
Okay, and so how can people connect with you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, Susie Briscoe. Susie is spelt with an S and not a Z. And you see, I'm American all of a sudden with a Z. and I'm on Facebook as well. I'm on Google, and with my company, ASA Coaching Associates. But easiest is probably LinkedIn or Facebook.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Tanya, you're up.
I was just Googling Susie, so I was able to quickly copy and paste, Susie, your website URL for everybody.
Oh, you darling girl. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. How you can work with me, or who I like to work with. I love to work with action-taking entrepreneurs. So if you are ready and want to get started in the media to share your message, then I would love to connect and work with you. I've got different ways that we can work together. I have a handful of private PR clients. So I have a done for you service. I also have a done with you where I run you through my online 6-week signature program, the Winning Publicity Formula. And then I privately coach you. So I have a done with you program. And then, of course, I teach you how to do it yourself is another option as well. And my mission actually is to make myself redundant, because I would love for every business owner and entrepreneur to just know, it's one of the things that we learn, is how to get free media and publicity. So I'm very passionate about teaching you how to do it yourself so that you can literally go and get your own media anywhere and everywhere. But of course, I've got a couple of different options for depending on where you are and how you like to roll, including a done with you and also a done for you. I've got the webinar, so that's a great way to come and, oh, Susie, I've just got your got your thing here now. I'm just going to put that back in again. So I'd love for you to come and join me here. But of course, I also have, I am not taking new students into this program right now, but I will very soon. So if you would like to know about when next, I am opening the doors to enrollment to my 6-week training program, the Winning Publicity Formula, which is literally what students have been using to generate $7.4 million in free publicity. I feel like Austin Powers when I say that, $1 million in free publicity over the last 2 years alone. You can register for that there. I have had a lot of inquiries into that, and I am toying with the idea of releasing that very soon. So love to see you live on the webinar. I'd love to see you connect with me. It would be amazing. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. For those who actually do want to connect with me off the back of this, I'd love for you to actually email me is the best way to go. And I'm just going to pop this in here. Tanya@tanyatarget.com is the best way to go, because LinkedIn can have so much noise that messages tend to get lost. So please feel free to email me directly.
And I don't want to speak for all the speakers, but here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to assume that all of you are available to speak at different conferences and workshops and share stages and that sort of thing. I'm assuming that's the case. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yay. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Rhonda, you're up next.
My book that I released this year is 14 Days to a Flat Belly, Guide to a Vibrant, Energetic, Sexy You. and I'm a revitalize coach, and I help mentor in mindset. The people I love to work with are people that are looking to have energy and every movement they do, so action oriented. That when they have an idea, they get their feet firm in the ground and they're ready to take action right away. And where you can find me is rondaleebig.com/fresh inspiration. And that area is called Fresh Inspiration because of it just feels fresh to be around new authors and speakers and talking about how they're connecting and making people feel good. But this new journey that I'm on, the city tour, we're going to be in Petaluma with some mentors that are authors, San Francisco, Arizona. We're going to Las Vegas. So if you're looking to connect with me, the best way is Rhonda at rondaleebig.com. And that's what I have going on right now.
All right, sounds good. And Rhonda, I have a question once we're off the phone, so I will call you. Type in your phone number to Facebook.
Daryl, you're awesome. Daryl just typed in my email.
Go to Facebook and type in your phone number because I have a quick question once we're done here. So if you don't mind. And so for the rest of our speakers have gone to other appointments. So quick question to the room. Anything that you would like to share? Tell me one thing that you got out of this, if anything, and if you didn't, you're not going to hurt my feelings. So, Gary? All right, we haven't heard from you all day. Are you still there? Gary? Maybe not. Okay. Thank you, Rhonda. I see your information. Thank you. I'll call you in a minute. Anyone else have anything? David, you've been really, really quiet. I really appreciate you calling in. And anything you want to say to the room? Please unmute yourself. Yes, no, maybe? Okay. We're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Writer's Circle. And I've already had people that have sent me instant messages to know whether or not I'm going to do this again. Listen, I will continue doing these as long as people are interested. I love to teach what I know. I know all the speakers today, they love teaching what they know. So I will continue to produce these as long as people, you show up and you're interested. So send me an instant message, Tony Wilkins, Wilkins, and hopefully we'll see you soon. I want to thank all of the speakers and all the participants for calling in. If you want to know anything about any of our speakers or any of the speakers that you've seen today, be sure to connect with them on Facebook. And thank you, Daryl. Daryl says we all rock. It's too funny. He says that we rock. Thank you. You do too. We appreciate it. And connect with me, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Oh, one last thing. A couple of things that are coming up. I have a new influential networking group that's coming up on the 28th. It's a virtual networking group. We don't collect business cards. We help each other get wherever we're trying to get to. So if you're interested, send me an instant message on Facebook. I'll send you the link. It's by membership only. If you are a coach or a speaker, we have a separate networking group called the Coaching Hour. We meet on Saturdays. You do need a membership to join that. Membership starts at $49 a month, so you can excuse me, you can get a membership for that if you're interested. I will be in Reno doing my retreat, 3-day retreat, how to make money as a speaker. That's going to be May 4th through the 6th at the Silver Legacy. For information, email me at awil267487@aol.com. And then on May 9th, I will be at the Women of Influence conference, and that's going to be in Vegas. So one is going to be in Reno, the other won't be in Vegas. So please join me. Until next time, I'm Tony Wilkins. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you to everyone who's watching. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful week and get writing. Yay!
Thank you, Tony. That's wonderful.
That's my dance for us today, Tony.
Bye, everyone.